what is going on? She's just deleted her Twitter. She's getting called out because it was exposed, because an interview got...
What Caitlin Clark just did with Team USA has left the entire basketball world absolutely speechless. We're not talking about another record-breaking performance or another sold-out arena. No, this is bigger. This is the kind of moment that doesn't just change a league.
Something's gone weirdly wrong.
It changes everything. And while the world is still trying to process what just happened, the Indiana Fever president finds herself at the center of a firestorm so intense that she had to delete her entire social media presence just to escape the heat. You heard that right. Gone. Vanished. No explanation. No.
White, Amber Cox, Kelly Crosscroft, the Indiana Fever president, they were not ready. Now, Christine Brennan in her book confirmed the WNBA and the Indiana Fever did not realize what they were about to get themselves into with drafting Caitlin Clark, because the popularity they weren't prepared for.
No apology, just pure panic. What you're about to hear isn't just another basketball controversy. This is a full-blown reckoning that's been brewing for months, and it's finally exploding in the most dramatic way possible. Buckle up, because this story has more twists than a Hollywood thriller, and every single detail matters. Let me paint the picture for you. The Indiana Fever president, Kelly Krauskopf, is in complete meltdown mode right now. Her Twitter account deleted. Her public image in shambles. The criticism isn't just coming at her. It's coming from every direction, every hour, and it's getting louder by the minute. An old interview recently resurfaced, and when it did, Caitlin Clark's impact on the league became impossible to ignore. The truth came out, and it exposed just how unprepared the organization really was. People are now asking the hard questions. How did this happen? How did a franchise hire someone so out of touch, so chronically online, and so completely unaware of what they were dealing with? Something has gone weirdly wrong in Indiana, and the whole world is watching it unravel in real time. This isn't just a press conference gone bad, or a viral clip taken out of context.
Yes, Stephanie White, every single solitary move that you make is going to be scrutinized.
This is a complex, layered narrative that reveals everything wrong with how the WNBA has handled its biggest star. And I've got all the details that... Let's go back to where this all started. Stephanie White, Amber Cox, and Kelly Krauskopf. These are the names running the show in Indiana. And from day one, they were not ready. Christine Brennan, in her book, confirmed what many suspected all along. The WNBA and the Indiana Fever had absolutely no idea what they were getting themselves into when they drafted Caitlin Clark. They didn't see the wave coming. They didn't anticipate the popularity, the media attention, the sold-out arenas, the skyrocketing merchandise sales. They thought they were drafting a talented rookie. What they actually got was a cultural phenomenon. And they fumbled it from the start. Now, here's where things get really messy. Caitlin Clark supporters, and there are millions of them, are absolutely furious right now. And they have every right to be. The Indiana Fever's front office just made one of the most tone-deaf moves in recent sports history. Their own team president stood up and criticized the very rookie who has been filling arenas, turning the WNBA into must-watch television and bringing in money like the league has never seen before. Kelly Krauskopf made a comment that sent shockwaves through the fan base. She compared the Fever to Apple. On the surface, that sounds like a compliment, right? A big, polished, iconic brand. But here's the problem. The way she said it made it sound like Caitlin Clark was just an iPhone case. Not the iPhone itself. Not the product. Just an accessory. And people picked up on that immediately. Let me be brutally honest here. Because of Caitlin, the Fever is significant.
Job is easy, but when it is a simple call right in front of your face multiple times, what are you doing?
In San Francisco tomorrow, you're on the Las Vegas Strip. What can the Las Vegas expect from Sophie?
Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna be me. I don't go in there trying to predetermine anything. I'm dialed in. I need to focus on hitting my shots, making sure I'm executing the schemes right. I'm not focused on the extracurricular activities. And you know what? During that, it was just part of the game. I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do.
Without her, they're just another struggling franchise that nobody outside of Indiana cares about. Her presence is what keeps the national cameras rolling. Her games are what send products flying off the shelves. She is the story. She is the draw. She is the reason people are paying attention. But instead of acknowledging that, instead of celebrating it, the team's top officials are actively trying to downplay her importance. They're treating her like she's just one piece of a bigger puzzle, when in reality, she is the puzzle. And the fans are done pretending otherwise. The reaction on social media was swift and brutal. Fans didn't hold back. They called out Krauskopf's message for exactly what it was. Direct, uncomplicated disdain. They saw through the corporate speak and the brand-building nonsense. And within hours, Krauskopf staged her disappearance. Overnight, her account was gone. No apologies. No explanation. No attempt to clarify or walk anything back. Just gone. She logged out, probably hoping the controversy would die down, that people would move on, that the internet would forget. But here's the thing about the internet, and especially about Caitlin Clark fans. They never forget. And now, every single move that Stephanie White, Amber Cox, or anyone else in that front office makes will be scrutinized. Welcome to the spotlight. It's unforgiving, and it doesn't go away. You know someone is feeling the pressure when they delete their social media in the middle of a scandal. That's exactly what Kelly Krauskopf did. Her Apple comment went viral, and not in the way she hoped. Caitlin Clark's
message. It turned into a scuffle, and I don't think anybody wanted that. But the way that the game went and how egregious the referees were and how they were not protecting players, and they especially weren't protecting the #1 player in this league, the biggest draw in this league, which is Caitlin Clark, and they continue to not do that. To me, this was not a dirty play. This was making a statement because the referees didn't do their damn job. This would not have happened at the end of the game if the referees did their job during the first play. If the referees did their job, not just the first play, every single play leading up to that. If the referees had control of the game, that is their only job. The referees' first job, their #1 job, is to protect their players.
I get it to a certain extent, and every rookie coming into the league, that's how you're going to.
Supporters descended on her like a swarm, and they weren't gentle about it. They tore apart the idea that you could use a commercial metaphor to reduce the most impactful player in women's basketball to just another generic commodity. By Friday night, the account was gone. Simply poof. And no PR statement in the world could undo the damage that silence caused. But here's what makes this even worse. These aren't just casual fans who are upset. We're talking about season ticket holders. We're talking about diehard supporters who stuck with this team through years of losing seasons, through rebuild after rebuild, through disappointment after disappointment. They bought the gear. They showed up to the games. They believed in the future of this franchise. And now, when that future finally arrives in the form of Caitlin Clark, the front office is deliberately mishandling it. They're fumbling the very moment these fans have been waiting for. And on top of all that, this came after weeks of silence about how Caitlin has been treated on the court. Referees have been letting her get thrown around game after game, with no protection, no calls, no accountability. And through all of that, the team president couldn't even acknowledge Caitlin's value without tying it to brand strategy and corporate marketing. Krauskopf's decision to vanish from social media didn't calm anything down. It confirmed every suspicion that the fans already had. This isn't just bad publicity anymore. This is a full-blown trust crisis. Now, before we go any further, if you think Caitlin is being deliberately targeted on purpose, go ahead and hit that like button right now. And if you think the referees are just completely blind to what's happening, drop a comment and let me know. Don't forget to subscribe, because things are only going to get crazier from here. Trust me on that. Let's talk about Sophie Cunningham. If Caitlin Clark is the star of this story, then Sophie is the enforcer, the bodyguard, the unofficial vice president of the Try That on Our Court and You'll Get Dropped committee. Sophie has been defending Caitlin from day one, And she's not subtle about it. During the debut episode of her podcast, Show Me Something.
We have a foundational player in Caitlin Clark and Leah Boston, and we're going to continue to add to that. But I want this team to be the leader in the country, and a brand, an enduring brand. Like Al.
Sophie absolutely lost it. Her uncensored rant was the kind of thing you'd expect to see in a Netflix drama, not from an active WNBA player. But she didn't care. She went after everyone. Opponents who were playing dirty, referees who weren't doing their jobs. And yes, even people inside the Indiana Fever organization who were downplaying Caitlin's value. Sophie didn't mince words. She called people out directly, saying, "You're literally dumb," not once, not twice, but 3 times. The clip went viral instantly. TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, it was everywhere. It became a catchphrase. And Sophie knew exactly what she was doing. She wasn't just venting. She was sending a message. But here's where it gets even more intense. Sophie isn't just talk. She backs it up on the court. She body-checked a Connecticut Sun player into another dimension after Caitlin took an elbow to the face. She got ejected. She didn't care. "I'm going to defend my teammates," she said. Period. That's her mentality, and she's sticking to it. But this is where things get complicated. Sophie didn't just go after opponents or bad referees. She turned her sights on her own team. She claims that some of the real hostility toward Caitlin is actually coming from within the Indiana Fever locker room. Insiders are calling her podcast episode a declaration of war. Fans have been sensing tension for a while now, but hearing Sophie say it out loud confirmed what many feared. There's a divide in Indiana. On one side, you have the new wave, the viral sensation, the player who's bringing unprecedented attention to the...
What the WNBA is doing with Caitlin Clark is the equivalent of the NBA doing this to Michael Jordan in 1986. It just doesn't make sense to me. You are biting the hand that feeds you. Mind you, without...
franchise. On the other side, you have established veterans who feel like they're being overshadowed. It's a classic clash, and it's simmering just below the surface. Sophie isn't trying to smooth things over or play nice. She's here to blow it all up and force people to pick a side. Now, let's talk about what's happening on the court, because that's where the real injustice is taking place. Let's be completely honest. Caitlin Clark is being absolutely pounded out there. Elbows to the face, body checks, gouged eyes. And the referees? Silent. If this were happening to Steph Curry or LeBron James in the NBA, there would be immediate suspensions, fines, breaking news alerts, and league-wide outrage. But in the WNBA, when it happens to Caitlin Clark, the game just goes on. No calls, no accountability, nothing. Take the May 24th game between the Fever and the Liberty as a perfect example. Natasha Cloud absolutely rams into Caitlin in the paint. It's a shoulder-down collision in the middle of a 2-point game. The referees are standing right there, staring directly at the play. And they do nothing. Caitlin looks at them, palms up, as if to say, "Are you serious right now?" But there's no whistle. The Liberty bench celebrates. The buzzer sounds. Game over. Sophie Cunningham summed it up perfectly when she said it felt like burnt dirt again. There's just more expected of her. More contact, more physicality, more punishment, and less protection. The double standard is becoming impossible to ignore. This isn't tough defense. This is targeted disruption. And some rival players have quietly admitted that there's an unspoken strategy at play. Make her work for everything. Wear her down. Break her before she gets too big. That's the code, and it's being executed every single night. But here's the thing. Caitlin Clark isn't breaking. She showed up ready to take command. And when the referees fail to do their jobs, she just keeps playing. Meanwhile, Sophie Cunningham is out there throwing shoulders and lighting up podcasts like it's her full-time mission. And honestly, a lot of people are starting to wonder if there's something bigger going on here. A conspiracy? Maybe, but the pattern is undeniable. If you're still with me, then you know this isn't just a basketball story anymore. This is about power, control, respect, and the future of the league. So get in the mix. Like this video. drop a comment. Subscribe and stay up to date, because the next twist in this saga could drop at any moment. Behind the scenes in Indiana, things are falling apart. This isn't just PR drama or media speculation. There is real internal fighting happening right now. On one side, you have the business executives trying to turn the Fever into a polished corporate brand like Apple. On the other side, you have the players, the fans, and even opposing coaches who all know the truth. Right now, the brand is Caitlin Clark. She is the franchise. Everything else is secondary. Things went off the rails when Kelly Krauskopf decided she wanted to reduce Caitlin's influence and spread the credit around. Sophie Cunningham didn't just disagree. She completely lost it. And here's the part that makes this even more explosive. According to insiders, Sophie's podcast rant wasn't some spontaneous emotional outburst. It was planned. It was coordinated. It was a calculated response to the president's speech, and Sophie came prepared with receipts. That's not frustration. That's rebellion. That's a player publicly challenging her own front office and daring them to respond. What we're seeing here is a severe identity crisis within the Fever organization. They have the centerpiece. They have the superstar. They have the player who can carry them to greatness. But instead of embracing that, they're treating Caitlin like a threat. The franchise is split down the middle. Some people see her as the future. Others are clinging to the past, to old systems, to outdated ways of thinking. And the tension is only getting worse. Here's the uncomfortable truth that nobody in the WNBA wants to say out loud. What they're doing to Caitlin Clark right now is the equivalent of what the NBA did to Michael Jordan back in 1986. It doesn't make any sense. You're biting the hand that feeds you. If LeBron James got slammed to the ground after being poked in the eye, social media would explode. SportsCenter would run it on a loop. But when it happens to Caitlin Clark, the league gives her crickets. No statements, no discipline, no protection. Imagine if Steph Curry was getting hammered every single game with 0 calls. The NBA would never allow it. But that's exactly what Caitlin is going through, that she's not just some rookie trying to find her way. She is the reason everyone is watching women's basketball right now. The ratings are up because of her. The arenas are packed because of her. The revenue is flowing because of her. And yet, she's being treated like a bench warmer. Sophie Cunningham called it unacceptable. Coach Stephanie White has publicly gone after the referees for ignoring it. The fans see it. The media sees it. But the league stays silent. And here's the part that cuts the deepest. If Caitlin Clark were a man, this league would be bowing down. Instead, she's getting pushed around while executives on her own team do nothing. Sophie is defending her. The fans are fighting for her, but the people who should be protecting her are too worried about politics, optics, and not rocking the boat. Caitlin Clark isn't the future. She's already here. The problem is that even in 2025, the old guard is acting like they're about to be run over. This isn't a disagreement. This is a reckoning. And if the WNBA and the Indiana Fever don't wake up soon, they're going to miss out on a once-in-a-generation opportunity. Sophie Cunningham said it best. You're either with Caitlin or you're against her. There's no middle ground anymore. And trust me, the next update in this story could blow up the internet. So make sure you hit that bell, subscribe, and drop a comment, because this is just the beginning of the storm. As this story continues to unfold, one thing is crystal clear. This is bigger than a single controversy. This is about a sport stepping into a new era of attention, pressure, and expectation. When a league rises this fast, when audiences expand this dramatically, not everyone is prepared for what comes next. What we're witnessing right now is an entire organization, an entire fan base, and an entire league trying to adjust to a spotlight that has never been this bright. And that transition is messy, uncomfortable, and far from over. But through all the chaos, one truth remains constant. The passion of the fans and the determination of the players continue to push this sport forward. Every debate, every viral moment, every heated discussion reveals just how much people care about the future of women's basketball. These tensions, as challenging as they are proof of progress. They force teams to reflect. They push leaders to rethink their approach, and they encourage the league to build something stronger for the future. Amid all the noise, the heart of this story is still the game itself. The competition, the talent, the strategy, the dedication that players show every single night. No matter what happens behind the scenes, the court is where the real evolution takes place. Teams are adapting, players are rising, and the league is building an identity that is more confident, more visible, and more unified than ever before. This chapter may be closing, but the larger story is far from over. New developments, new performances, and new surprises will keep shaping the narrative. A league in motion refuses to stand still. The momentum we're seeing right now is only the beginning. So stay engaged. Keep watching. Keep your voice in the conversation. Because the next turning point could happen at any moment, and the evolution of this season is still picking up speed. The journey is just beginning, and what comes next might redefine everything we thought we knew. Thanks for watching. This is your spot for clear, reliable breakdowns of everything happening in the world of women's basketball. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Stay connected. Stay informed. More big stories are coming your way.